Ladies and gentlemen, friends, dreamers, and those who came here just because the ticket was free, welcome. I stand before you today with a very simple message. Have bigger dreams. Yes, bigger than your boss's stomach, bigger than your neighbor's ego, bigger than the excuses you've been feeding yourself. Because if you don't dare to dream big, you will always stay small. You see, I am not a superhero. I don't have the muscles of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't sing like Beyonce, and I definitely don't look like Brad Pitt. I was just an English teacher who failed many times. But today I'm here, not because I was the smartest, but because I dared to have dreams so big that people laughed at me. And when people laugh at you, it means you're on the right track. So sit tight. I'll take you through a journey of failure, success, mistakes, lessons, and hopefully a few laughs. And if by the end you don't feel inspired, at least you will have had some free comedy. When I first told people in China in the 1990s that I wanted to build a company on the internet, they looked at me the way you look at a man who says, I will marry a Hollywood actress tomorrow. They didn't just doubt me. They thought I had lost my mind. They said, Jack, you don't know anything about computers. I said, yes. They said, Jack, you don't know anything about business. I said, yes. They said, Jack, you don't have money. I said, yes. You see, when you are chasing a big dream, people will give you a list of all the things you don't have. They think they are helping you by being realistic, but what they are really doing is handing you a basket of excuses. And excuses never built anything. So when they finally asked me, Jack, what do you have? I smiled and said, the only thing that mattered, I have a dream. And that's when I learned something powerful. If your dream is not ridiculous, it is too small. If people don't laugh at your dream, maybe it's not really a dream. It's just a small wish, like wanting an extra dumpling for lunch. Chickens dream of more corn. Eagles dream of the sky. When people laugh at you, don't be angry. Don't be discouraged. Smile, because their laughter is the soundtrack of your future success. It means you are thinking beyond the box they are trapped in. So the first step in having bigger dreams is this. Be ridiculous enough to believe in something that others think is impossible. Because the future always belongs to the dreamers who dare to look ridiculous today. Now let me confess something that most people try to hide. I am the world champion of failure. Truly, if failure were an Olympic sport, I would have more gold medals than Michael Phelps. As a boy, I failed my middle school entrance exams not once but twice. When I finally got in, I thought the nightmare was over. But life said, Jack, wait, I have more surprises for you. I then failed my college entrance exams 3 times. My mother started to wonder if I should open a small vegetable shop instead of studying. When I grew up, I thought maybe the world of work would welcome me. I applied for 30 jobs. 29 said no. Even KFC rejected me. 24 people applied, 23 were hired. Guess who was the unlucky number 24? Yes, the man standing before you. Even fried chicken didn't want me. And Harvard, oh my dear Harvard, I applied 10 times. Harvard looked at my papers and said, Jack, thank you, but no, thank you. 10 times. I think they must have had my picture in the office saying, if this guy applies again, just send the rejection quickly. At that time, I thought maybe God created me to set a world record in rejection. But later I realized something. Failure is not the end of the story. Failure is the tuition fee you pay for success. When people reject you, don't take it personally. They are not rejecting you. They are rejecting their own imagination. They cannot see what you will become. So my friends, when you dream bigger, prepare to fail bigger, but also prepare to learn bigger, because every rejection is simply a redirection towards something greater. Have you ever watched an ant, a small little ant? If you put your finger in its way, does it stop? No. It tries to go around. If you block it again, it tries again. If you block it again, it goes over or under or it waits, but it never gives up. When I started Alibaba, we had nothing. No money, no technology, no experience. The only thing we had was a group of 18 young people in my apartment with big dreams and big hearts. We were just like ants. And we said, let's build a company for small businesses, for the little guys so they can sell to the world. Everybody laughed, but we kept moving like ants. And today Alibaba is one of the biggest companies in the world. Not because we were powerful like lions, but because we were persistent like ants. So if you want to have bigger dreams, stop waiting to be powerful. Start being persistent. Now let's talk about money. People often ask me, Jack, you're so rich, does money make you happy? Let me tell you a secret. When you have less than $1 million, you know how to spend it. When you have 10 million, you start to get confused. When you have billions, it is no longer your money. It is a responsibility. Money is like a toilet. If you don't have it, it is a problem. But if you sit there too long, it also becomes a problem. So don't dream of money, dream of purpose. Money will follow. If you dream only of money, you may end up rich but miserable like a fat cat who cannot climb a tree. But if you dream of purpose, you may end up rich, happy, and useful to society. People think I am smart, but actually I am not. I call myself stupid. Because when you are stupid, you ask questions. When you ask questions, you learn. When you learn, you grow. When you think you are smart, you stop learning. And when you stop learning, you stop growing. So I always surround myself with people smarter than me. That's why Alibaba is so successful. I hire people who can do things I cannot do. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Remember this, your dream is not about proving you are smart. It's about proving you can work with smart people. Let me tell you a funny story. One day, a farmer found an egg under his chicken. He thought it was a chicken egg, so he put it with the other eggs. But when it hatched, it was an eagle. The eagle grew up with chickens, scratching the ground for worms, flapping little wings, never flying high, until one day, another eagle flew over, and the little eagle looked up and thought, wow, that's amazing. I wish I could do that. The chickens laughed. Don't be stupid. You are a chicken. Just eat your worms. But the eagle thought, no, I feel something inside me. It spread its wings, and suddenly it flew. You see, most of us are eagles living like chickens because society tells us to be realistic. But realistic is just another word for small dreams. If you want to dream bigger, don't let chickens give you advice about flying. People always ask me, Jack, what is the future of technology? AI, robots, machine learning, quantum computing, will machines take over the world? And I always smile and tell them the future is not about machines, the future is about the human heart. Think about it. Machines are becoming smarter every day. They can calculate faster, they can recognize faces, they can even beat humans at chess and go. But machines don't have dreams. Machines don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to make my mother proud. Machines don't write love letters. Machines don't tell jokes that make you laugh until your stomach hurts. So yes, machines are smart, but they are not wise. They are efficient, but they are not compassionate. They can store information, but they cannot create imagination. That's why the future belongs not to machines, but to people who use their hearts and minds together. If your dream is only about technology, it will expire when the next version comes out. Remember floppy disks? Remember pagers? Remember when we thought email was the greatest invention of all time? Technology changes fast. But values, dreams, kindness, courage, these never go out of fashion. The world already has enough machines. What the world needs is more dreamers. Dreamers who use technology not just to make money, but to make life better. Dreamers who can see beyond artificial intelligence and build emotional intelligence. So when you think of the future, don't just ask, what can machines do? Ask yourself, what can I do that machines can never do? The answer is simple. You can love, you can laugh, you can dream. And that is why your dream must always be bigger than any machine. Dreaming big doesn't mean being too serious. In fact, the bigger your dream, the more humor you need. Because when you fail, and you will fail, humor is your parachute. When people laugh at you, laugh with them. When people doubt you, doubt with a smile. When you fall flat on your face, at least you can say, what a beautiful view of the floor. I survived because I didn't take myself too seriously. People think business is about numbers, strategy, competition. No, business is about people. And people love humor. So if you want to have bigger dreams, learn to laugh, especially at yourself. To young people, I say, dream big now. Don't wait until you are old like me. When you are 20, 30 years old, learn. Don't worry about money. Work for someone you admire. Build your skills. When you are 30, 40, try to do something yourself. Small, but with vision. When you are 40, 50, focus. Don't jump around. When you are 50, 60, teach younger people, invest in them. After 60, enjoy life, spend time with family, and don't try to compete with young people in video games. You will always lose. My friends, life is short. Too short to dream small. Don't just dream of a job. Dream of a mission. Don't just dream of buying a car. Dream of building roads. Don't just dream of living in a house. Dream of making homes for others. And when you dream so big that people say, you're crazy. Because crazy is the first step to changing the world. Remember, people laughed at me when I said I'd build Alibaba. People laughed at me when I said small businesses could sell globally. People laughed at me when I said we would compete with the biggest companies in the world. But I learned one thing. Today is difficult. Tomorrow's more difficult. But the day after tomorrow will be beautiful. Most people die tomorrow evening. So my friends, don't give up. Don't shrink your dreams. Don't let the chickens tell you you're not an eagle. Spread your wings, fly high, and always, always have bigger dreams. Thank you. And remember, if a man who was rejected by KFC can stand here and tell you this, then you have no excuse. So go out there, dream big, fail big, laugh big, and live even bigger.